Ahoy! Not too long after New World launched, a rumor started going around that Amazon is working on a new MMO, an MMO to follow in New World's footsteps apparently. I don't know where this originated from first, but the first article that I could find about it was by segmentnext.com from August 2022. Now, this article is interesting in some ways because it doesn't really source all too much, but I want to read a quick segment of it and talk about why we are probably not actually getting an MMO. I quote, "On launch day, New World had around 700,000 concurrent players and it was a huge launch. The game, however, lost its player base fast, but its explosive launch was enough to make it a commercial success for Amazon. After New World, Amazon Game Studio published another famous Korean MMORPG, Lost Ark in the West. Since many fans were waiting for a Western Lost Ark release already, Smilegate's MMO was also a hit release in the West." One interesting thing about this is the uncorrected typo here with Smilegate's name. So it can be said that Amazon got some impressive results with the MMO, and with the server infrastructure they have, it's natural to release more MMOs, right? Is it really though? Did Blizzard release another MMO after WoW? Is that really natural? Anyways, continuing. So to continue the former success, another new MMO project is in development at Amazon Game Studios. There are some other profiles of Amazon employees as well on LinkedIn that mention an unannounced project. However, there is no mention of an MMO, so we can't be sure if the unannounced project is the same MMO or something else. Amazon Games have also partnered up with Disruptive Games to make an action-adventure multiplayer game, which is apparently developed in Unreal Engine 5. While the said project is a multiplayer game, we aren't sure if it's an MMO as well or not. If you dig a little bit deeper into the article's links via toptierlist.net, we can find that it's all referring to this one job position, which is mentioning a AAA fully funded title with an original IP that has multiplayer aspects of some sort. So really, this is not telling us much. This project also specifically seems to be a Disruptive Games project, not so much an Amazon Games project from what I can tell. On Disruptive Games project's website, they describe this as the super secret project, which is a multiplayer action adventure. If you look at other games the studio has made, they don't exactly have a track record for MMORPGs, and being kind of a studio under AGS, I highly doubt that this project will be an MMO. But more importantly, this is not the main thing that Amazon is working on that people are referring to here. There's also mention on massivelyop.com from September 2020 about an MMO somehow, where they are simultaneously working on New World and some sci-fi MMO maybe, but again, this is not specifically called an MMO, it's called a massively multiplayer game. And honestly, given how things have developed since then and how many people have left the studio and have switched around, I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe scrapped altogether anyways. But we know what Amazon is actually working on. I was hanging out with the boys the other day and XR started to dig through the job searches when we're talking about the engine and whatnot and how exactly this new game could work, because it is rumored to be a game on Unreal Engine. While we couldn't confirm that part, XR did find some job listings on Amazon Jobs, and you can actually look for their jobs with Amazon Games there, and they're either for New World or for this project. No mention of any other projects at all. So this is what they're actually working on. This is for Amazon Games Montreal specifically, and outside of the usual fluff that they have in their recruitment about what exactly they're looking for, there is a statement here about what the game actually will be. Joining Amazon Games Montreal means taking part in the foundation of a new video game studio that operates at a focused human scale. Participating in the creation of a new intellectual property, a fresh take on the AAA multiplayer online battle arena game. Yes, a MOBA. And collaborating with a team of well-rounded experts who have a great time working together. Come build the future with us. So they specifically spell out that it's a MOBA, and also later they say develop a deep understanding of the MOBA genre and partner with central research teams to conduct market research to understand customer needs and so on in MOBA specifically. So this is interesting. For me personally, this is very interesting because on one hand, I'm obviously playing New World, I am involved with Amazon Games already, and on the other hand, my background, where I've been for the last 9-10 years before that, was in a MOBA. So I'm very curious where this is going and if this is going to be appealing to me at all, because if it's a clicker MOBA, then I'm probably not interested. But we'll see. I think it's also bold to go for a new MOBA in 2023, especially with Amazon's general standing at the moment. I'm very, very curious how this could pan out. So yeah, very exciting news, but also very positive news if you are a fan of New World. Because I know one concern that many people had with New World, and that I had too, because I thought that the next game was an MMO, was that they would maybe kind of drop New World or basically work on a New World 2.0 with this game, and then New World would pretty much be completely dead. But given that this is not an MMO, this is not really a threat to New World. Why would they stop working on New World if this is a completely different genre and a completely different audience? And in my eyes, those are some very hopeful news, because to me that indicates that they are planning to work on New World more long term. And to that point, there's another article. This one sounds pretty bad at first. Engadget wrote that Amazon lays off more than 100 employees across their gaming division. And obviously, for those employees, that is very bad news and very unfortunate. But in the context of New World specifically, this didn't actually affect New World. The assumption that a lot of people made was, this is for New World. These are all people at New World that are getting laid off, and they're just going down to some bare bones team and keep kind of rolling with the game while they work on their new MMO. On the contrary, the article from Engadget reads, Amazon's ongoing layoffs now include those more directly involved in game production. The company has provided an internal memo from Gaming VP Christoph Hartmann announcing layoffs of just over 100 employees across gaming divisions that include Prime Gaming, Game Growth, and Amazon Games San Diego studio. The internet giant is also reassigning workers to projects that fit its strategic focus, the executive says. The teams in Irvine, which develops the online RPG New World, and Montreal, an unannounced project, will continue to grow, Hartmann adds. Amazon's publishing efforts will also expand. Laid-off employees are notified and will get severance pay, health benefits, and so on. So when it comes to the layoffs themselves, it seems like there's some more stuff going on behind the scenes there as to why that is happening and how they've kind of focus their studios and where those employees came from and so on. I'm not going to get into that, but what I can talk about here is, of course, that on one hand we have this focus of people being moved away from the San Diego studio and people being put on the team in Irvine that works on New World, and in Montreal, which works on this MOBA. Medium.com actually posted about John Smedley opening this new studio in San Diego in 2017, and maybe this was actually related to this other project, because if we look at this other article from videogameschronicle.com, then we can see that the San Diego head here, John Smedley, stepped down in January 2023, which seems to be coinciding with these layoffs. So he stepped down, that project kind of probably got cancelled or canned completely. And in the context of that, the employees that were working there are also being shifted to other projects or laid off. This article also specifically mentioned that this team remains focused on bringing their unannounced project to life. So I would imagine this unannounced project is probably not going to see that life. If it was actually an MMO or something different, we will never know. But I'd rather have it be canned beforehand than turn out something like Crucible, where it is alive for a very brief time and then gets canned afterwards. So, pros and cons, I suppose. I can only speculate about the specifics here. I only have my own knowledge as well that I got from these articles. I have no insider knowledge here. But yeah, generally this seems to be the trend here. There seems to have been something that was going on that is no longer going on. They're focused on New World specifically and on that MOBA. I hope this clears up some of the confusion around the topic and maybe makes some of you a little bit more hopeful about New World's future as well. If you look at Amazon jobs, by the way, and you search for Amazon games, there are multiple pages of them hiring for Amazon games specifically. So there is still a lot of work going on in that regard. I wouldn't be too worried. Tomorrow I'll show you some nice routes to farm rabbits for the current event. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing and clicking the bell. Also in the near future, I'll make an expedition guide, a beginner guide for expeditions in general. And we'll also be talking about the Bleed Raper build with the help of an expert. So there's a lot going on. You can look forward to that. If you want early trading tips, as usual, consider supporting me on Patreon. And thanks to all of these lovely people who already do that. And thank you for watching. Sloth out.